This tag team match, one fall or 10-minute time limit. In the red corner, the Mid-South Tag Team Champions, Ted DiBiase and Dr. Death, Steve Williams. Tommy Rogers and Bobby Fulton, the Fantastic.
What a tag team matchup you're about to see. One of the most explosive duos in wrestling, the Fantastics, going against, right now, they are number one. They are recognized as the top tag team in all the land. Ted DiBiase and Dr. Death Steve Williams, the current Mid-South Tag Team Champions. Referee Randy Anderson calls for the bell. And Joel, this one could be very sudden, because anytime you've got four athletes like this with tremendous athletic ability, anything can happen and probably will.
And Dr. Death goes right after Tommy Rogers, catches him a quick body slam. The Fantastics at a slight weight disadvantage here. They've got to use strategy to their advantage. Of course, in tag team wrestling, you can get by with having a weight disadvantage a lot more than you can in a singles match. Dr. Death and Ted DiBiase, great tag team strategist as well, and I think that's what's put them at the top of the ladder.
Well, I think we've got a classic matchup, just like the Boston Celtics and the Los Angeles Lakers. The Lakers, that quick team, that speed team, that's what you have in the Fantastics. There you see Dr. Death. A power team like the Boston Celtics. They go right at you time and time and time again. They're relentless. And Ted DiBiase in that corner, the master tactician.
Oh! Tommy Rogers caught Dr. Death with a drop kick from behind. Beautiful maneuver. All four men in the ring now. It's a melee.
Up-tempo situation. Fantastics have the advantage. And this crowd, this phenomenal crowd, loves these two men. I'm sure this is not what Dr. Death and Ted DiBiase had talked about prior to coming to this match. They have to control the tempo, slow the tempo down somewhat, and stay on the offensive. Whereas that team, the Fantastics, they want to kick it in gear. They want to go right at these big men.
Well, it may look like in that situation that Dr. Death and Ted DiBiase might have been scared of the Fantastics, but I think it was just a strategic maneuver to get out and rearrange their strategy. They are great tacticians. Oh, Dr. Death! Arm up Tommy Rogers in. Tommy Rogers, there's that quickness you were talking about, Jim. That's where that quickness comes into play. Bobby Fulton off the ropes. A high leg drop. A high leg drop.
Well, they're striking with sudden maneuvers. They're so quick, so explosive, the Fantastics. They have, this is not new for them to be outweighed. They know exactly how to combat that weight and strength advantage. But do they have the tag team expertise to stay with DiBiase and Dr. Death? That's the question that must be answered as this match progresses.
Well, the Fantastics have proved that they can be championship caliber. They've been the American Tag Team Champions in the world-class area in Dallas.
Well, anytime you can defeat the Midnight Express, Joel, you have already proven to me, and I'm sure all the fans, that you are world-class caliber. They are certainly that, but they're in the ring, as I mentioned earlier. The magazines, the sports writers, they all say that this duo of Dr. Death and Ted DiBiase right now, they're setting atop the tag team rankings in this country.
No doubt about it. Tommy Rogers off the ropes. He catches Ted DiBiase, a hard right cross. Goes back to the arm of Dr. Death. Bobby Fulton off the second rope. Dr. Death now at this point, he's in tremendous physical condition. You can see that he hasn't, even though he's been in a ring against both these guys and hasn't made a tag yet, I'm sure he's far from being tired. Tommy Rogers off the ropes.
Well, there's a classic example. When you take the big man off his feet, look how tall he is. That's wrestling. That's amateur wrestling. It's professional wrestling. That's the way the sport has been laid out.
These two men definitely have to keep their distance from Dr. Death. They can't let it get a hold of him with, say, a bear hug or something. Tommy Rogers moves in close there and reverses the hip toss. Nice maneuver. I think right now that's what has kept Dr. Death off guard has been their quickness. Bobby Fulton off the ropes. Look at how well these two men use the ropes to their advantage.
This adds a little more strength, a little more leverage, but Dr. Death now he took a cheap shot on Fulton.
Fulton with the sunset flip. Fulton relentless in his attack. They're really going for it. This is a big match for the Fantastics. Dr. Death getting very vicious. DiBiase has got Bobby Fulton.
Fulton's ribs have been injured. We saw them tape last week. DiBiase with that tremendous cheap shot. The steel post, the ring move when he slammed that man into the post. And Fulton is in deep, deep trouble.
Once again, we see the technical expertise of Ted DiBiase in action. And the physical conditioning of Dr. Death as Dr. Death rebounds quickly from his situation and puts Bobby Fulton in a bad, bad way with that bear hug across the lower rib cage. He makes the tag to Ted DiBiase. DiBiase and now applying the punishment quickly. And I think we're going to see that Ted DiBiase and Dr. Death can take advantage of the momentum that they've got just as well, if not better than the Fantastics. DiBiase with the arm whip, elevation. He's got Bobby Fulton in trouble now.
DiBiase has that ability to change gears. No wasted motion. He's a punishing individual. That back in the rib area, Fulton taking a tremendous punishment here on Mid-South Wrestling. Don't forget, coming up, ladies and gentlemen, Terry Taylor, Superstar Dundee against the Nightmare. They're all going to be here. What an hour we've got left. What a match we're having now.
DiBiase with the quick tag. Dr. Death goes into one of his favorite holds, the bear hug. And for good reason. You can see the awesome development of his upper body. He is so, so powerful.
These men are big, and they are tough, and they're taking over on the Fantastics. An excellent tag team indeed. And Dr. Death and DiBiase showing why they, at this point in time, are the #1 tag team in wrestling.
Dr. Death really applying the punishment to that ribcage area. Bobby Fulton gets his leg on the rope and saves a possible fall.
Well, frankly, I don't know how much more that Bobby Fulton can take, ladies and gentlemen. What punishment he's been inflicted upon him by Dr. Death, Steve Williams, and Ted DiBiase.
Well, these two young individuals have got a lot of heart, along with their quickness and their athletic ability. That's what's kept them in such high ranking in the country as a tag team. It takes a lot of heart to be able to take on these two awesome powerhouses, DiBiase and Doc. DiBiase with the arm whip. Off the ropes goes Fulton. Fulton. Oh, he didn't quite have enough left. Not enough energy. DiBiase and Doc now tagging off, using the quick tag to their advantage. DiBiase again with the arm whip and an elbow. A hard body slam. They have got a lot of momentum. But Bobby Fulton gets out of the way. DiBiase went for a high-risk maneuver, and I think he underestimated Bobby Fulton at that time. He had really punished Fulton, but Fulton with so much heart, he gives 110% every single match. There's the tag. Tommy Rogers really hammered Dr. Death. Boy, he hammered Dr. Death. Dr. Death, all four men in the ring now. Fulton with a drop kick. DiBiase goes out of the ring. Randy Anderson trying to get Fulton out of the ring and straighten things out. DiBiase's loading that glove. DiBiase loads the glove. Tommy Rogers goes for the flying head scissors. DiBiase knocked him out. Now Dr. Death loads. He adjusted that forearm. Adjusted that forearm pad. Oh.
What a victory. What a tag team combination. Dr. Death, Steve Williams, and Ted DiBiase. They are simply awesome. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back with Terry Taylor right after this.